Today I'm going to make some friands. Friands are a small cake you can enjoy with a cup of tea. They're made with almond meal and egg whites predominantly, and some kind of fruit. And here in Australia, blueberries are really cheap at the moment because they're in season. So I'm going to be using blueberries with pistachios. So let's get started. So for this recipe you'll need 150 grams of egg whites, 150 grams of icing sugar, 150 grams of almond meal, 30 grams of plain flour or gluten-free flour, 6 grams of vanilla extract, and 115 grams of unsalted butter. So now you've got everything weighed out, you want to grab yourself your favourite bowl. Basically just dump everything in the bowl except for the butter and whisk it together just until it's combined. Side note, if you want to save on dishes, you could just weigh all of your ingredients directly into the bowl so that you save on dishes. But for the purposes of this video, I've put everything in individual bowls. You don't need to do that. Now, when you heat your butter up, you want to avoid separating the milk solids from the fat. So it's a good practice to do this anytime you're making a cake. Just heat the butter up to the point where it's melted and don't make it too hot, because the end result will be that your friand mix, in this case, will kind of look like the fat is separating out from it. It probably won't affect the end result, it'll still be delicious, but it's just good practice to avoid splitting butter when you heat it. And the way we do that is just to heat it low and slow. So once your butter's melted, just add it into the mix and whisk it together. And now all that needs to happen is just need to cover it and rest it in the fridge for 2 hours. And then it'll be ready to bake. So here where I live, blueberries are in season at the moment and they're very cheap to buy. So I've bought a big supply of them and chucked them in the freezer. Today I'm using my frozen blueberries. And I have pistachios in my pantry, so I'm just using those on top as well. If you don't have those, you can substitute for something else. Any kind of berry works great. You can also use pear or peach or plum, also delicious. Just keep in mind that your cooking time will vary depending on what fruit you use and how much of it you use as well. I like mine with lots of fruit. I put it in the middle and on the top, which increases the cooking time because fruit's so juicy. So start by oiling 9 holes in a silicone muffin pan. Then, using your batter that's been resting for 2 hours, scoop 1 dessert spoonful into each of the 9 holes. Then I like to sprinkle a bit of fruit into each of them. I used about 4 or 5 blueberries. And then I've added another scoop of batter on top of those blueberries. Once all your batter's evenly distributed among all of them, go ahead and sprinkle some more fruit on top, followed by your crushed up nuts if you're using them. And then it's ready to bake. So we're going to chuck it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius. And it's going to take between 25 and 35 minutes. For me, these ones took about 35 minutes. It will vary depending on how much fruit you've used in there. So my friands are out of the oven. I'm so excited to try it. Let's break one open and see what they're like. How good are blueberries? You get like a pop of juicy blueberry flavor. They're still warm too. And the pistachios on top toast in the oven. So they get more crunchy with more flavor. These are super simple to make. Great with a cup of tea on your sunny afternoon or a rainy afternoon. I hope you give it a go. Be creative. Use whatever you've got. It's pretty forgiving. Have a good day.